Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Rupani, as a nominee of Amit Shah, was picked up and he became the chief minister.
I'm with Yamal Vyas, the chief spokesperson of the BJP in Gujarat, Amee Yajnik, the Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress party from Gujarat, and Hari Desai, very well-known political analyst and journalist. Welcome all of you to the print debates.
Thank you.
Today we are discussing, of course, this bombshell weekend when, first of all, the Gujarat Chief Minister, Vijay Rupani, had to resign. And within 24 hours on Sunday evening, there is a new Chief Minister of Gujarat, Bhupendra Patel. From what we know, Yamalji, we've been watching you on television. So we know a few things about him. He's, of course, the first time MLA from Ghatlodia constituency in Gujarat. And this is really surprising because it's not often that a first-time MLA becomes a chief minister. He's also been a part of the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation as well as the Ahmedabad Urban Development Board and the chairman of the school board. So Yamaji, first tell us why Bhupendra Patel? Why not the Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel? What is so special about this gentleman?
First I'll answer why Bhupendra Patel. Bhupendra Bhai is well qualified. He's an engineer. He has got wide experience of administration. From 1995, he has been managing first the Ahmednagar municipality, and then he was a part of the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, then Auda School Board of Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation. So he has been evolving as an able administrator over the last 25 years. And not only that, but he has got a very clean image, absolutely non-corrupt. That matters in Gujarat. I don't know whether it matters outside Gujarat or not, but Gujarat is very sensitive to corruption. That's another thing. And then he has proved himself to be a very able administrator. There are generally issues where workers feel that sometimes their work is not getting done because of the bureaucracy. Bhupendra Bhai, during his tenure at different places, he has been able to manage the administration very well. So that is also one thing in his favor. And then he has been a committed worker of the party for almost 30 years now, more than 30 years.
But sir, tell me, like I said earlier, this is very unusual for a first-time MLA to become a chief minister. So would you say that he is a direct implant from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who of course keeps a very, very tight control on Gujarat politics?
Not really. You see, Vijay Rupani was also the first-time MLA when he became the chief minister, and he also did very well. I'm sure Bhupendra Bhai will also do very well because whatever positions he has held in the first term, all the terms, the positions. So I think he has that knack of managing things well even in the first term with less experience. And not only that, but Mr. Modi has a lot of faith in him. Anandiben has a lot of faith in him. Amit Shah has a lot of faith in him. Because these are the three hardest taskmasters in Gujarat BJP, and he has been able to satisfy all three of them.
Amiji, can I come to you and ask you,
Sure.
how is this going to impact the politics in Gujarat? Your own party, in the last elections in 2017, your party did quite well. You won 77 seats, the BJP had 99. So do you think that the fact that Mr. Patel, who's a patidar, do you think that this will have an impact on the politics of Gujarat, considering that elections are going to be held 15 months or so from now?
See, first of all, the Congress in Gujarat is fighting very, very strongly against the ruling dispensation. And with every incident that happens and every misgovernance that takes place in the state, the Congress goes to the people. And this opposition has rattled the ruling dispensation for quite some time. Now, post-COVID, during the corona time, the failure of the governance was writ everywhere and people lost their lives. People did not get access to the healthcare, forget about hospitals and healthcare and ambulances. But there were lots of deaths, and the way it was handled, I think the people of Gujarat definitely connected with all the Congress people who are today also going to meet the families and trying to find out what went wrong and why they were not helped. Forget about the social indicators of malnutrition or the dropout rates in the school. They apart. The Congress is always showing the mirror to the ruling dispensation. And so they do take Congress very seriously. Otherwise, in the middle of the rule, you have to bring another person. Mr. Rupani's failures had gone practically over the lid, and so I think it became quite apparent when the Jan Ashirwad Yatra was taken out by the BJP, and they saw that they are never going to get this Ashirwad. So maybe they did this internal working out that Mr. Rupani is out, and so the people don't put the blame right. I mean, what is visible is visible. But the second thing is that the Congress is firstly putting a great fight. We are very strong. But the second thing is that any person who comes as the chief minister in BJP or any governance model in Gujarat is a direct remote controlled government, whether it is anybody, any face. And when the BJP says that we don't believe in Gyativad, casteism, why should they think about the patidars? Why should they bring a patidar or Patel factor? So if you're not worried, you are only bothered about Vikas, then Vikas is not there. But you have brought patidar factor, that is what you're saying. And that is what you're worried about Gujarat. So these are remote controlled people. They want to govern in their own way. But if you see on the ground, it is a very difficult situation.
Okay. Hariji, can I ask you to explain the situation? I mean, you've been covering Gujarat, you know the politics of it like the back of your hand. Would you say that it is unusual to remove a chief minister a year or so just before the elections? Why do you think this has happened? And why Bhupendra Patel? What is so special about him?
Actually, we both, on both occasions, I think Rupani resigning and Bhupendra Patel being selected, you know, both issues are, you know, bombshell to people of Gujarat, frankly speaking. Why, when my friend Yamal and even entire BJP cadre says that, well, Rupani has done a great job, he was very successful as chief minister, then why the hell he should go? That is it. So, Rupani was unable, rather, he has been a lightweight chief minister who was having remote in Amit Shah, and I think maybe they must have thought that he is unable to make them win the election in 2022 December. Mm-hmm. So that is why he has to go. That is one. Second, now Bhupendra Patel is being elected as the chief minister, I mean leader of the assembly in the ruling party. We are surprised. See, he's also a first timer. He's a nice guy. Like Rupani was also a Sarva Mitra, no harm, you know, but Sarva Mitra doesn't deliver the goods. Mm-hmm. As even Anandiben has also described so many things. So both the things happen because they want some puppet as a chief minister here. They want to control the elections. C.R. Patil is calling the shots, and I think he's getting geared up for the next term.
When you say they want to control, who is they?
They means high command. Like, you know, Congress has no business talking about, you know, puppet chief ministers and all that. Congress always had the puppet chief ministers. Mm-hmm. You know, good old days, Indira Gandhi days, you must be knowing. I was in Maharashtra for 25 long years, and every year, you know, the chief minister used to be changed.
Right.
Vadik used to propose the new name. Right. And also the signature campaign to remove the chief minister.
Okay, Hariji, hold your thought. Yamalji, I want to ask you, you know, these are strong words that both Anandiben and Hari Bhai are making. Strong accusations against your party, which is that A, Bhupendra Patel, like Vijay Rupani before him, was remote control from Delhi, puppet chief minister. This is a strong accusation.
Only time will tell, but we know for sure that...
How time will tell? Sir, 4 years Vijay Rupani has been chief minister. How can time tell now? Barely
no,
a year.
Because, see, okay, Vijay Rupani, you're asking for Vijay Rupani, fine. I'm sorry. Yeah, so last 5 years, if you see, 2017, we won the assembly under him with a comfortable majority. That is one. Then, as recently as February this year, when see the ultimate taste of any political party is election. And 2021 February, the local body elections, we got 70% of the seats, 80% of the seats, 70% of the vote. Not only that, we won all the municipal corporations, we won all the district panchayats, 80% of the municipalities. I mean, you say it and we have won it. So the people of Gujarat have.
In that case, if you won such a staggering majority of elections in the local bodies, then why did Mr. Rupani have to go? After all,
that is what he is voluntarily resigned, and then I'm sure that his abilities will be used somewhere else by the party. He has been a party worker for long 40 years and more. He went to jail during the emergency when he was a student. So he has been working in various capacities as General Secretary of the party, as President of the state unit, and now I'm sure his skills will be used at the national level probably.
When you say he resigned voluntarily, what was it? He was not well? Do you think that the Supreme
Court party would have said
the Gujarat government for the mishandling of the COVID crisis, as Amiben just pointed out? What was the reason?
No, I think the Congress allegation is absolutely subjective and baseless. If you see Gujarat vaccination, the recovery rate as compared to any other Congress ruled state or any other state of the country, Gujarat stands out much better today. So per 1,000 population, we have perhaps the highest vaccination rate. So not only has Gujarat done well, more than 98% recovery rate. So the point is that Vijay Rupani's government has done well on all counts, and people have appreciated it in 2017 and 2021. Then Vijay Rupani has performed well as the chief minister. Now his skills and abilities, experience will be used at the national level probably by the party.
Amiben, can you explain to me, because to me it doesn't make sense that if somebody who's done so well still has to go. Yamal Vyas says that he has resigned, Vijay Rupani has resigned voluntarily. What do you make of it?
I think, first of all, we should understand that there is no word like voluntary in the vocabulary of the BJP. So there can never be any action of volition by anyone. So you are made to resign. And when you are made to resign, you can't even ask a question that, well, I did so well. Please tell me, why should I resign? So these things are out of the vocabulary, out of the realm of the BJP governance. They cannot speak anything. You have seen what happened when the 9 ministers were brought in and 2 sitting ministers without any performance chart or any parameters had to resign to make place for those 9 ministers recently in Delhi. So, well, let us not bring the voluntary word. He was made to resign for whatever reasons. And I think there would be some kind of I think equation that he's somebody from Anandiben's section. And I think Anandiben is now almost so senior, she would have a very strong say as far as the governance of BJP is concerned.
But can I ask you, Amiben, are you saying that Bhupendra Patel, the new Chief Minister of Gujarat, is a protege of Anandiben Patel?
He's very close to Anandiben. That is what he has said. Ke emna Ashirwad mari par chhe. Now, Ashirwad means you know that all 4 hands are on you. Otherwise, if you do not have that kind of an experience, how suddenly the High Command or Honorable Prime Minister or Amit Shah ji would just say that, well, let's pick him up, when there is Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel already having so much popularity, so much skill, so much wanting, so much present in Gujarat, and many other people. So I think this voluntary resignation doesn't gel at all, and they should not use this word.
Hari bhai, can you explain the politics between Anandiben Patel camp and the Vijay Rupani camp? Tell us, who are the puppet masters? Who is pulling whom on the string?
When Anandiben had to go and the ticket was to be given to somebody from Ghatlodia constituency, her constituency, I think she said that it be given to Bhupendra Patel. So Bhupendra Patel naturally was her nominee.
Okay.
But later on, Bhupendra Patel had also patched up with Amit Shah. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, there are 2 sharp groups in Gujarat BJP. There are many more groups. Yamal will not be able to tell us also inside story, but off the record he can.
Okay. We'll ask him later, but you tell us now.
But this man is basically a builder.
Bhupendra Patel.
Bhupendra Patel.
Okay.
And builder has to deal with lot many things, Gandhinagar and leaders and all that. He is also a low profile person. I must say that he is my MLA. I mean, from the same constituency.
Okay.
But he is a low profile gentleman, but he's a builder. BJP requires tons of money to go for the election. So builders are also required to collect the funds. And I think he would be useful. Even ODA chairman, Surendra Kaka, was a person who has been a treasurer of BJP. And Bhupendra also was ODA chairman.
But explain you were talking about the factions in the Gujarat BJP. One, which is the Anandiben Patel faction, and you're saying that Bhupendra Patel, the chief minister, is her protege. What about the Vijay Rupani faction, the outgoing chief minister? Explain to us who is
Jyoti, I will tell you about that.
Okay.
See, when Anandiben was going, it was decided that Nitin Patel would be the chief minister. But in the meeting itself, Amit Shah asserted that no, Nitin Patel. You may be aware that Nitin Patel was almost certain he was to be declared. Even पटाखे फूट गए थे महसाना में, मेरे महसाना में, जहां पर से he gets elected. So Rupani as a nominee of Amit Shah was picked up, and he became the chief minister. Amiben would agree with me. Even Yamal also will have to give consent to what I am saying.
Yamal ji, are you giving consent to what Hari Bhai is saying?
Hari Bhai has his own views, and I'm sure that he is a very strong view person. So
Yamal is a spokesperson and smart spokesperson. Of course, a personal friend of mine. So
in this particular case, Amit Shah, Home Minister today, he is the one who won the case, and he installed his man, Vijay Rupani, as a chief minister of Gujarat. Am I correct?
Yes. And Anandiben was made to leave Gujarat, made to leave chief ministership, thanks to Amit Shah. When again, I gather that when again she was told, when she has been a governor in UP, she was once asked by the Prime Minister whether you would like to go back to Gujarat as chief minister. She has refused, and she even offered to resign even as governor, because she is not sure about what Amit Shah will do. That is it.
So Yamal Bhai, explain this tension between Home Minister Amit Shah and Anandiben Patel.
Well, actually, there is absolutely no tension. It's more of a product of the media and the opposition. Because as you can see, Anandiben again had resigned on her own. She was saying that she had, in a letter that she had written to the party, she had mentioned that she was nearing 75, and 75 is the age where the chief minister should be resigning from active politics. And she resigned from there, and she became a governor. That is, the party utilized her experience there. But as far as Amit Bhai and Anandiben are concerned, they were both different kinds of leaders. They are different style of working. But both of them are committed to the BJP. They are committed to the cause, the nationalism and all. So I don't think their ways of working may be different. But there is no confrontation, no tension between them.
But what are these different ways of working? Explain to me. What is the difference?
Amit Bhai has his own way of working, as you have seen him working as a Home Minister and BJP President. Anandiben also, she was a teacher, so she is very strict by nature. And she has a way of working similar to that of a senior teacher. So both of them are again very dedicated to whatever they work they do, and they have been very successful. Anandiben was a very successful education minister in Gujarat. She was also a very successful revenue minister when she was given that responsibility. And again, as governor of UP also, she has been, I'm sure, working very competently.
So she is a senior politician, of course, in your state. You said she was a strict, like a strict teacher. How would you describe Amit Shah?
Amit Shah is also very result oriented. He knows how to motivate the workers. I worked under him for a long time, and he knows exactly what the abilities of the worker are, and he knows how to extract best work out of each worker.
So, Anandiben, can you explain to me, this, both people are supposed to have resigned voluntarily. Gujarat में बहुत सारे voluntary resignations हो रहे हैं, पिछले कुछ सालों में ऐसे दिखाई दे रहा है. लेकिन ये बताइए कि जो how is this going to impact the politics inside the Congress party? You are also a divided party in many ways. Your working president, Hari Patel, he has now, earlier they were talking about how the patidars have not been represented. Today, do you feel that by this stroke, by appointing a patidar chief minister, the BJP has actually, it's a master stroke in some ways?
Well, we may not call it a master stroke because we have still not heard the views of the Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Bhai Patel, and we have not seen his response or reaction. We may not consider it a master stroke. Whatever be the situation, they have got the ground feeling that yes, the governance model which they have shown in the last 4 years or 3.5 years has practically shown a downslide as far as the BJP is concerned. This is a cause of serious concern when you are also losing ground in UP. So this is the home place where you have practically has control over everyone and everything. Let me
no, but in a sense, they have been able to now, if the core voter in Gujarat is a Patel, a Patidar, then they have been able to attract the core voter by doing this, isn't it?
Well, we'll have to see, because when your core voter and your selection of the chief minister, if you're going on casteism, then I think you will have to then talk about that rather than talk about development. Then you cannot bring issues that concern everybody of Gujarat. And you
but your
cannot
party
then...
is quite divided, Anandiben. It is so divided that you also are unable to mount a challenge. The BJP has won 6 times in a row. I mean, that's straight 30 years in politics. The whole country has changed. The whole state has changed.
No, that you are right, but that doesn't mean that the party has got is divided. We are united. You could see what we got last time, but then the poaching happens, and the poaching happens for reasons everyone knows. So, well, I mean, everyone cannot have a control over that, and when there is no law to govern that, you can't say that, well, the BJP is a very self-sustained party, because you are picking up people from other parties who are successful, and you don't have your own people who can run the models of your governance. And so that these are the factors. Well, politics is about all these things, but definitely we are giving a tough fight. If we were so low-lying, they would not have changed the chief minister. They would not have bothered about Gujarat at all.
So you're taking credit. You're taking credit for the change in the chief ministership.
Of course, the Congress is posing a great opposition to them. For every small thing, they cannot answer. The only thing is that they bring this scripted answers on the television media or the debates or the speeches that हम सामान्य कार्यकर से कहाँ पहुँच गए, हम काम करने वाली पार्टी है. वो नहीं कहते कि हम दूसरे के MLAs को लेके आ जाते हैं. हमारे पास हमारे वर्कर्स को हम चांस नहीं देते हैं. हमारे लीडर्स को हम प्रमोट नहीं करते. हम औरों को लीडर्स लेके आते हैं. उनको मिनिस्टर बना देते. They don't tell all this on the television or the debates. So let us understand their model. It is really complicated, but the remote control is there, and these are the 3 persons. I think you can see now that Anandiben also has a great say in today's chief ministership that has come.
No, but if Anandiben Patel has a great say and her protege has become the chief minister, would you then say that the Amit Shah camp has lost, at least in this round?
Well, what are the equations between the 3 of them right now? We do not know how the How Command has compromised in a certain way at that particular point of time, and has decided, because this was not a one day or the sense of the MLAs. This might have been going on for at least the last 5 months or 6 months from the time the corona has said that, yes, Gujarat has failed. We are not talking of vaccination and recovery. We are talking of the handling of the patients and handling of the corona thing. So this has been going on for a while. So it is not a surprise thing at all.
So Hari bhai, explain this corona crisis. I mean, Gujarat, we saw it was one of the worst states to have been affected by COVID. So would you say that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was deeply upset by the handling of the COVID crisis and that he has decided to step in? Explain to me the politics of how Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah, Anandiben Patel, how this has played out in today's, in the change of chief ministership.
I think the overall impression, Jyoti, is that Rupani's government was run by the bureaucrats and not the ministers.
Okay.
MLAs were ignored, the elected representatives were ignored. They had absolutely, they were not even taken care of even during the COVID pandemic. And that is one of the reason I think that there was hush hush even within the party, legislative party also. And Modi, he keeps a track. I mean, he has a direct contacts with, I think, districts, and he has various channels. So he must have got that, if this man is at the helm of the affairs, we will not win the election. Of course, Congress is a divided house, no doubt about it. Congress talks about what BJP should do, and BJP talks about what Congress should do. But, they should concentrate on consolidating their own party.
So what happened to Amit Shah
says,
in this particular case? Do you think that the Amit Shah faction has lost and that the Anandiben Patel?
No, I would not say that Amit Shah has lost.
Okay.
It is a compromise candidate. Bhupendra Patel is a compromise candidate. That is what I believe. And so goody with everybody. Say Prime Minister wanted to change. They wanted a Patel to be there. They wanted a lightweight Patel, not a mass leader or somebody who became rebellious like Nitin. And they wanted their coffer also to be filled in for the election. Likewise, so everything is total combination of it. Bhupendra Patel goes well with that, and Bhupendra Patel and CR Patil, I think that team has to work for the winning the election. That is what I gather. Whereas Rupani and CR Patil, they were at loggerheads all the time.
Right.
That is it. And I think that did not allow the government to function properly.
Okay, so last comments from everybody. Vyasji, can I ask you to answer? Can you tell me this perception that the Gujarat BJP, that the state is being run from Delhi? What would you say? Much like what Indira Gandhi used to do in her heyday. What do you make of? What do you think about that?
I don't think so, because just because the Prime Minister was the Chief Minister of this state, he knows this state very well. He belongs to Gujarat. He knows every village of Gujarat. And that is why he has a keen interest in the development of Gujarat, having worked as CM for 13 years. So obviously his guidance is available at all times. But I don't think he has ever interfered when living under the chief ministership of Anandiben or Vijay Rupani, and I'm sure the same thing will continue. I don't think any administrative decisions are taken from Delhi. I don't think any major decisions are taken from Delhi. Yes, Delhi helps. Whenever there is a project put up by the Gujarat government, I'm sure they take it up very sympathetically and very quickly. Gujarat's development is at the heart of the Prime Minister, I'm sure, because he is very close to Gujarat even now. So that part is there, that he takes keen interest in Gujarat. The Home Minister takes keen interest in Gujarat. But I don't think that there is anything similar to how Mrs. Gandhi used to run her Congress ruled states. I don't think there is any kind of interference in the running of the state day-to-day administration or even in policy making.
Amee, the same question to you. Much like Mrs. Gandhi, Indira Gandhi in her heyday, when the Congress High Command ran the Congress-ruled states in the country, just like that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is doing this with Gujarat and with various other states.
Maybe their styles are different. We can't have any comparison. We all the time bring comparisons. I think that's not okay. There can be some kind of highlighting points, but Gujarat, of course, from day one, it is being remote controlled. So it doesn't matter whether it is Mr. Vijay Rupani or whether it is Mr. Patel who has come now, but it is definitely remote controlled, and everything that happens in Gujarat is continuously, constantly, and all the time connected to Delhi. We may not say that, well, only sometimes the Honorable Prime Minister, because his home state, takes interest. No, it would be an understatement. I think that is not the case. If that was so, I think he should have continued with Mr. Rupani, who did so well, because a couple of days back, all his achievements, which he has done as far as Rojgar is concerned, or whether it is health is concerned, or whether there are social indicators where he has promoted certain schemes, everything he has done great. Everyone has applauded. And then there was no need to change him. So I think there is something very different and very, I think they can explain, but it is all the way, it is a remote control government.
Hariji, you have the last word.
So long as Anandiben was there, I think that was not the case. That is what I can definitely vouch. Anandiben was very assertive. She was calling the shots even for the bureaucrats also. They were rather scared of her. But after Rupani came, I think it was directly remote controlled by Delhi, and especially by the Prime Minister, frankly speaking.
Well, we will be watching this space over the next few days and months. You have to give it to the BJP. There's never a dull day in that party. This has been a bombshell weekend. The churn in the Gujarat BJP, I'm sure that this will then have repercussions across the country. Several other state elections are coming up over the next few months, but we shall be watching at the print. Thank you so much, Yamal Vyas, Amee Yajnik, and Hari Desai. Thank you so much for joining the print.